Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us for today APEX Students Drop-in session. My name is Lily, and I'm the lead manager for the student services, and I'm based in Malaysia. So you must be wondering why you are here today. So basically, today's session is really all about guiding you through some of the changes that's been happening. You have noticed and you're aware that we have been going through a new revamp on our website, as well as the logins of your pages. So you may have questions or queries about where to look for resources, where to look for study support to help you prep for your exam. So before we start the session, allow me to just share a couple of the house rules. Do keep your mic mute at all time, and feel free to use the chat box that's made available at the bottom of your Zoom. We will answer to your questions at the end of the session. So now we will introduce Nicole. She's the business manager, business development manager based in Australia, and she will be here today to guide you through the session. Over to you, Nicole.
Thanks, Lily. Thank you for that very warm welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone on the call. I'm Nicole. I work in business development for Australasia, so we look after Australia and New Zealand. I'm really excited to be your host for this session and take you through some important aspects and exciting aspects of your studies and the resources that are available for you. So firstly, we're going to touch on the value and the benefits of being a student. We're going to talk about student resources and everything that is available for you. We're also going to touch on the student support activities. So that is led by us as staff members. We do things in addition to support you. We're going to touch on employability. We know how important that is. And then we're going to talk about our finance leadership program, and that's a complete digital experience. And if you have heard about it, great, but we will touch on that and all of its charm. And then we're going to end with two student perspectives. So we're going to have sharings from two students who are going to talk a little bit about their experience and hopefully be a source of inspiration for you, because I can tell you there's no student that doesn't have hurdles, but really it's about having that discipline, having that vision on when you're going to sit the exam and taking all the steps and taking advantage of everything that we have on offer. So I guess to start with, the value and the benefit of being a student of ours. Showing employers that you're working towards completing your CGMA qualification is so highly advantageous. It's a huge value in staying engaged and proactive with sitting your exams. You're viewed off the get-go. You're viewed as someone who is interested in learning and developing yourself and who will remain current once you become a full member and then you have the CPD requirement. So also being a student member is like holding a license, and it's telling the world a little bit more about your personal brand, perhaps why you chose us over another professional body. And I will also add, we have so many agreements with universities across the globe where, because you're studying with us, you're on your way to get the CGMA qualification, you're also then able to undertake a bachelor degree, or it might be a postgraduate, a master's degree, or a postgraduate certificate, because you're a student of ours. So huge value in creating the career and the type of persona that you want. Now, I'm really going to ask you to use the chat function. There's no right or wrong answers, but I'm really going to throw out to you. Do you know what support is available to you to progress with your exams? Now, you might have a yes or a no, or you can scale it from being you don't know anything, and that can be a 1, obviously worse, or you know all the resources that we have available, and that's sitting more at the 10. So use the chat function and just simply type in what you feel your answer is. Do you know what support is available for you to achieve exam success? And I'll just wait for those to come through. Excellent. Perfect. I can see them coming through. Now, resources. Our study hub, first and foremost. This should be one of your most frequently visited websites. It's core and it's foundational for you to find resources, to prepare preparation guides and mock exams. And that's just to name a few. We'll take a closer look at this website in a moment, but I really want to draw on some of the resources that we have that we've made available, cost neutral, so it's free for you to undertake, a lot on resume support, a lot on tips and techniques to establish a work-life balance. We know, again, that the decision for employability has often driven your decision to study with us. So we know that these types of support for employability will give you that edge in the marketplace, whether it's to take your career to the next level or whether it's to get your first role in the job market. So we have a lot of resources, a lot of webinars on CV support, on resume support, and tips on thriving and really establishing that work-life balance, because we know the world of work has really changed, right? Now let's take a closer look at our study hub. Here you can see our main page. We've actually got a study support team that works to make this experience better for you. But what you want to do is look at our study guides first and foremost. We've got a really big description of what our qualification is about and the subjects, exam resources, CIMA study, CIMA aptitude, studies text, revision cards, mock exams. They all live here. Yes, they're for a nominal fee, but they all work to give you the edge that you need, and they're premium products. We've got case study support. This is the bread and butter of our syllabus. A walkthrough of real life exams, exam information, resources at your fingertips. There's webinars. There's webinars on each of the levels, as well as mindset. We know that if you're not in the right mindset, how are you going to sit and perform in an exam? So it's really, really important. And really excitingly, we've got a lot on coaching. So you can opt for a one-to-one session and get that extra support. You plug in your details and that can be arranged for you. So it's really, really helpful in getting you the best chances to have that exam success. And like I said before, a lot on CV support. We know how much larger organizations rely on AI and how much sometimes your application or your CV doesn't even get read by a human. So we've got these tools there to get you your CV in front of a human. And again, tips for work-life balance. And this is just a couple of examples that we've got. So please get into it. Have a look at our study hub. It should be your go-to. So in addition to, I guess, the resources that we've got, our study hub, here at CIMA, we have a progression team. And that progression team works across the Asia Pacific. We focus on 5 key areas. We want you to succeed. When you succeed as a student, we succeed, because it means you become a member sooner and then you're part of that large membership community. But what we do here is we have market-led and each country-specific study sessions for every subject, with a focus on our case studies, because we know that is the bread and butter of our program. We've got tips and tricks, exam preparation sessions, and we put on for the entire region. These are really important, right? This can be a make or break between you passing your exam and failing your exam. And we really teach you how to prepare your responses, how to align your arguments, and how to yield the most marks per answer. Even simple things like focusing more time on a question that is worth more marks, right? And just really intuitively diving in and knowing the approach. It's really important with the tips and tricks, tips and techniques. Also on-demand sessions. So we might, as staff members, have a partner that releases really good content. We'll pump that out to our students. So I cannot reiterate enough, emails is the way we communicate with you, right? We have LinkedIn and we have different, we've got Facebook, but in the sense of what we want to share with you, emails is fundamental. And it sounds really obvious, but if you're not engaging with your emails, when I say engaging, I mean taking action, registering for the event. If you're not doing that, you're not getting the most out of it. And I can appreciate life is busy. You might not make the live event, but always you can watch the pre-recording. So just always really look at the content that we're sending you and sign up. get it in front of it. Here at the ARCPA and CIMA, item number 4, we love to celebrate. We often hold high achiever sessions where we hear from top students that share their journey. And don't mistaken, these top students aren't just people that wake up being geniuses. No, they put the work in, they have obstacles, they sometimes fail, but having those sources of inspiration to know that everybody's got to study for our exams. And we really like to highlight high achievers because it doesn't come easy. Nothing worthwhile in life comes easy. And finally, Kaplan, we've worked with them for many years. They're a premium, fantastic partner, and we will pump out mock exams and that type of support for you to take advantage of. Again, I don't want to sound like a broken record, but looking at your emails, everything we communicate, signing up for those sessions and trying to get the most out of everything that's available to you is going to be the difference between your success and sometimes not getting the results you want. So again, chat box, just want to throw it out to you on a scale of 1 to 10, how important is it to have access to employers and career advice? 1 being it's not important, you don't care about employers, and 10 being important. How important is it? Okay, so I can see a lot of 10s. Great. So we can all, I think we're all on the same page. A lot of the time that we choose to do the CGMA qualification, to become CIMA members, to hold that ACMA, CGMA designation, right, it has a lot to do with employers and employment and getting the right type of work. Here at the ARCPA and CIMA, we have a real focus in providing a platform for you that, number 1, works effectively, that is current, and most of all, that is relevant and valuable to you. If it's not valuable to you, you won't use it, then it's a waste of time. But what we want you to use is this portal. We want you to be able to find a job. We want you to use this for job alerts, to search for employers, for student careers, for career advice, and for career services. And you'll see there are a lot of free webinars there to get you through, to give you that inspiration. Again, it's free to sign up and it will make a difference. And let's take a closer look at the site now. So as you can see, you can plug in, say you're looking for a role, plug in accountant. Now, a lot of people get really focused on getting into the detail with job titles. Keep it broad. These days, a title doesn't always demonstrate what the actual role's about. You can see here, I've clicked on Asia, and don't be persuaded by the India and Sri Lanka. There's plenty that are remote work. They all live here. Again, you can search nationwide, you can search working from home, salary range, sector, contract type, and you can use the portal for specific keywords. You can also job alert, plug in your details and you'll get updates on the particular jobs. Remember, everybody here that is posting their jobs, they're looking for that management accounting flavor. Again, you can search for particular employers. So say you have a dream of working at Coca-Cola, you can search for that employer here, a recruitment agency perhaps, or even a different agency. It's all available here. And this is the page for students. So as much as this whole entire hub is for our members, we have a whole area dedicated to students for job alerts, to find a job, for career resources and advice, and the career advice area. So building your success at work, elevating your leadership, finding a dream job, exploring the future of finance. This all lives here. And yes, there are a lot that's free, that's cost neutral, but there's some you have to invest in. And I'll tell you what, it will pay off, because there's no better investment other than investing in yourself. And finally, you can post. So if you've got a position open in your work, in your organization, you can get your employer, or if you're an employer yourself, post. Because what it does is you're sending the gauge out to get talent and acquire talent that is in management accounting. And it's a different skill set. It's definitely the skills that we see are no longer a choice, right? We see accounting changing with technology. These are the people that are at the forefront. Our qualification is just robust and really set for the future. So here you can post any roles that come up. Now to the fun bit. navigating our website. This is, you know, the essence of this session, and we have changed our website. There's no denying we've overhauled it, and we've done this to make it better. We've invested a lot, and we've done that because we want you to have an experience that is seamless and that is frictionless. But like all change, it sometimes takes some time to get used to it. And although we think it's really intuitive, we all still need some time to get used to the new look and feel. So this is the website that we've got, but I'm going to take you through a document that we've created that really works to give you the specifics, and it's all available on our website. It's been downloaded, so we can just have a look at this now. Firstly, I want to start with our contact details. So here we have it. Take a screenshot. I'm going to show this towards the end of the segment as well. But as staff members, we're student-facing people that work for the association, so contact us. But this document, 28 pages, it has everything from logging into your account, renewing your subscription, exam results, how to transfer to our finance leadership program, how to update your personal details. Another great thing about this is that these are live links, so you can simply click into it and it will take you to that page. So it is quite technical, step by step, but also really important, right? You want to know how to jump in, and it works like an umbrella. So it will connect you to the hubs that I just shared, the careers hub, the study hub. And once, you know, this transition period is over, my God, it's a lot better than what we've ever had. Again, our contact details, we encourage you to reach out. That's what we're here for. And again, we have a membership team and we have a progression team that's there to support you. Again, we're going to send all of this, the documents and the links to you after this call. Using the chat function again, I want to get to the exam area. What do you think our exam pass rates are? So it's a percentage. What do you think our exam pass rates are? Because I know there's a lot of fear. I'm not going to say too much, but I want to hear your feedback. And this is holistic, including our OTs, our objective exams, and our case studies. What do you think our exam pass rates are? Great, so I've got varying degree of answers. Great. Keep them coming. So guys, let's take a look. This is very, very relevant. This is taken from this year and last year. So this fear that sometimes students have around sitting exams, about the fear of failing, you know what? The majority of our students do really well. They're passing. And the average for this is 67%. And this is for our case studies. Take a look at our objective exams. Average here is 66%, guys. So people are sitting exams, and our students, and this is our advice to you, just take advantage of everything you can that we send your way. You've got to be proactive. You will get out of your exams what you put in. So I want to touch on our finance leadership program. Some of you may have heard of it. It's been in the market now for 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, and it is a different way of getting your CGMA qualification. There's more similarities than differences. So what we realised at CIMA, you know, in our qualification, and I guess through the syllabus, is no one can pass the management case study if you don't know the foundation subjects below it, if you don't know E2, P2, F2. So what we realised is the bearer of truth, the real important areas that we need to assess is the operational case study, the management case study, and the strategic case study. The subjects underneath have changed. They're no longer on FLP. They're no longer objective exams where it can be anxiety inducing and you have to prepare for the exam. Those subjects have now turned into knowledge checks. So undeniably, this way of studying is the fastest. And for a lot of students that we've spoken to, it's the missing piece. It's the thing that they have just needed. It's the same syllabus, it's the same framework, it's the same outcome, there's the same CPD, but the journey is different, right? There's only 3 exams, but the rigor and the challenge and the difficulty as such is all still the same. You still need to study as much, but it's just a really great way of studying. And please, if you want to learn more and you haven't heard about it, contact us, because there's so many different packages that can suit you. But again, it's personalized. These are the best features about it. It can understand where you're going wrong and it can correct it with you. It's very flexible. It's bite-sized learning. You can learn on the way to work, on the train, or, on the bus. It's mobile friendly. You can go on holidays and log in and do a bit of study. You can still print materials from the site as well. And it's really practical. So it's just such a focus. We've ramped up that whole idea around the scenarios and the case studies. I've had students just say to me they have understood so much more going into work as they are studying, as they're completing the knowledge checks, but more importantly, as they complete a case study and they move up and they keep going. Again, you can sit in this new format, you can sit all of the exams, so the 3 from home. We always say, just as a tip, it is good to go to the exam centre in the sense that it's a stable network. If you need to go to the bathroom, you can. Sitting at home, it's not a problem, but you really need to have a stable internet connection. You can't really get off your laptop or your computer as such. So just for those type of things, and again, there's 3 exams, I think it's safer to go to the exam centre. But again, if you follow the guidelines, you know what you're in for, you have a stable internet connection, completely sit everything from home. So I guess this is something we're really proud of, because I think we're one of the only professional bodies that allows you to get the whole experience, the study, to sit the exams all from home and in a really practical way. So it's not like you're just totally removed and you're on your own and you're not learning. We've designed it in a way that it's practical and it's very engaging. Now we've come to the fun part, so you're probably all sick of my voice, but we've got 2 fantastic students that are here to share their journey with you. Sorry about that. We've got, I'm just trying to see the name, Rita, who will be up front first. We're going to spotlight him. He has done so well so far. And I'm going to hand over to you to just share a little bit about your insights, and then we're going to move over to Joanne, who's going to also share her perspective. And then we're going to open up to Q&A. So I do encourage you to continue to put your questions, if you haven't already done so, in the chat function, and we will work to answer them all. So over to you, Hasitha.
Thanks, Nicole. I hope I'm audible. Yep.
Yep, I can hear you very well.
Okay, thanks. So to tell you about me, I'm currently a operational level student, and I'm waiting for my results in August. So I wrote my operational level case study exams in August. So hopefully within a week, I'll get the exam results. And if you want to know why I chose CIMA, so I am currently an undergraduate at University of Peradeniya, a prestigious university in Sri Lanka, and I focus on electrical and electronic engineering. But that is sort of a different field than CIMA. But when I went to my internship in electrical engineering, what I saw was I was working more on costing and how budgets should be happening in the power plants and how prices of electricity should be calculated. And while I was doing this, I went through my certificate in business accounting, the CIMA level 1. And when I did that, I saw some costing and how I should budget, how rolling budgets were. Then after finishing my cert PA, then I went to my operational level. And when I was studying management accounting on the 2nd level, then I came into how to cost properly. So to tell you a bit, so I was working on a project on how to cost the electricity for Sri Lankan consumers. So in this case, I needed to find out the figures on how much it costs and allocate it to the customers. So when I saw that, I knew my CIMA experience, what I learned in class can be easily applied here. So that's why I wanted to go through CIMA. So I've been doing exams very quickly now, and I tried to get the CCMA qualification when I'm graduating from the university. So to tell you about the more about the system thing. So I used to be on the previous system because I did my cert BA a couple of years back. Then I came into this CIMA second level after a year or so, a break or so, because I felt like my field was engineering. But I went back to the industry. I saw the value in this. So I'm trying to do my exams very quickly. So the thing about the new system is, the honest thing is, it's very like interactive, and it looks lovely than what it used to be. And I didn't like to browse through the previous website because it looked old for me. But the new one was like, I want to like log in and go through the pages because there are much more resources than it used to have. And even to say more about the exam booking process. So the usual process was a bit hectic because sometimes we had to go like me after go like selecting an exam booking and all of that. Now it's on a much better flow than what it used to be. So like if you go to your dashboard, you can see like if you have booked an exam, this is the date, this is the place you have to go, on everything on the dashboard itself. What it used to be was like on your email, on your booking confirmation, you had everything, and that is how you used to have it. But now on the dashboard itself, you have it. So, but if you don't have an exam book, then also like CIMA tells you like go do an exam, and it's quite frequent. It sends you emails saying you know try to finish the CCMA qualification. It sort of motivates you. So that's something I really like about the new system, and even viewing the results. So when you look into like the result breakdown, what it used to was like a small like a page which showed like you have passed and all of that. But now it's much more specific than what it used to be, and I really like the new environment. So that is my honest opinion about the new CIMA update. So over to you, Joanne.
Well, I might just jump in there and just ask you, Hasisha, what would be a tip that you would say to other students that maybe have just started or who are losing motivation? What's something that really helps you in preparing for your exams? Any words of wisdom around that?
Yeah. So like as I said, like my experience is more like I like to do more of electrical engineering, but then I met more people who are in the field, so they sort of motivated me and showed me the value. And networking and building like sort of a network helps you, and it motivates you, and it pursues you to your goals much more. That's what I saw.
Wonderful, wonderful. Joanne, I'll throw over to you. Introduce yourself briefly and just, I guess, throw out there any tips because I know you've had incredible success. I'll let you introduce. I mean, attempting the exams and passing on the first time, that's almost unheard of. So any tips that you can share with students? What was your strategy? What was a absolute non-negotiable for you?
Okay, I'll try as many questions in one. Hi, I'm Joanne. So I just completed my 12th exam. I sat that in May, and I passed all my exams first time. My management case study, I became the third best in the world. A big surprise to me. I was hugely excited. I just wanted to pass, but I did really well. And my strategic case study as well, I became the top achiever in Southeast Asia. So again, a delightful result. And some other on my OT exams as well has done really, really well. I think, mirror the comments. You just need to persevere. I'm a self-student and had to have the self-discipline in order to move myself forward. And generally, I took myself like a milestone of doing an exam every 3 months in order to fit in sort of a life balance as well between the exams. Clearly, with the case studies, that goes out a little bit of a window because that's such a massive exam in itself. So within each exam, I think, clearly case study is different to an OT exam, but, do the syllabus and then do mock exams. And for the case studies, I got quite a lot of support through a tuition provider, and I followed that course. It took me about 8 weeks to complete. lots of mock exams, going through, analysing the, the case study from every angle there is, doing my own research as well. Yeah, set a project plan, follow it, work hard. Exam technique is actually absolutely essential. The OT exams is very pressured and multiple choice and calculations, and you just need to be prepared for that. The case study exams as well, very time pressured. So learning to know how to type very, very fast is a good thing. Be structured, focused, and don't give up. Even in the exam, I remember my management case study, I almost walked out. I didn't know the answer for, one of the questions, but I thought, oh, I just give it a go, and it worked. So yeah, just be focused and move forward.
You're such a good example of, I think sometimes students can sometimes focus on getting the right material. And like you said, a lot of it is about tips and techniques and not giving up. And I think it's the mindset as well, being tenacious with your studies and being disciplined. I really feel like that is a big driver in completing the qualification. So what you've achieved is just nothing short of a miracle. Honestly, I have been with
it's a lot of hard work as well. So yes.
And that's what I was trying to say before. There is no blanket. No one wakes up with being a genius. I mean, we've got a CFO pathway, but I tell you, those students still need to study for the exam. No one can just go to the exam and not study. So it's a testament to you. It's not just luck. We know, Joanne, you've put the work in and the time, and it's just phenomenal. If there's one key, I guess, takeaway, like for you, do you think it's really important to find what mode works for you? So if it's face-to-face classes, do you think that's a real differentiator in the way you study? Is that really important as well?
Yeah, I think so. And luckily for me, I found the way that worked for me quite quickly. The first exam I did, which was the E1, I used the online course to get through the syllabus. But I discovered when I was going through the mock exams that it didn't offer the same level of detail as the mock exams required, and indeed the exam itself. So for my remainder of my exams, I actually used the textbook, which is quite big, heavy, a lot of information, and that always formed the basis of my exams, going through that in detail, making careful notes. Then I moved on to mock exams, and I used a number of providers, including those from CIMA, and those were really, really useful. And for my mock exams, then I went over the questions I didn't get right, and I prepared memory cards. I still got them in different colors, which was very handy when I was like on the bus or traveling or something like that, just to remind myself some of the downfalls as I was doing my exams. And for my case study exams, I decided to sign up for a full course, and again that worked for me. But I think, each individual are different. I'm quite self-motivated. I'm quite self-disciplined. And if you're not, maybe having, a course provider and being there, someone there to guide you, maybe helps as well. So, but, try and see what works for you. It's still hard work, but it's just the way in which you're trained to do it.
Oh, well done. And how long did it take you to complete the program from start to finish?
A fair few years, unfortunately, thanks to an overseas move. So I stopped studying for about a year and a half as a result of that. I used to live in Europe and now live in Asia. And also COVID wasn't great because I decided that I wanted to take all my exams in an exam location. I didn't want to do it online. And where I'm based at the moment, all exam locations closed for a very, very long time. So I wasn't able to take in exams for 8-9 months. And actually the first exam I took after they reopened, I recall, and not only was I wearing a face mask, but I was asked to wear gloves as well, which was quite unique when I was sitting with a keyboard. But I got through and I passed that exam too, so all down to an experience.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear, because I think you know, there is no time. You know, you can take the amount of time that you need in a sense. And I guess you didn't give up on your goal. You didn't give up on achieving it. And, you know, at the end of the day, there's still a value, like I was saying, in being a student and having access to the learning, even though it might take you a few more years than you anticipate, you didn't give up. And
No.
I think a big piece around it is that discipline. I feel like that is the driver when I see students that really thrive, that they're committed to it. I'm not saying, you know, students shouldn't have breaks. Certainly festivals, you know, things come up and, you know, we all have lives outside, but really having that goal. And you've done it now, you would never regret it. I'm sure it's one of the best things that you've done, correct?
Oh, absolutely. I'm very proud. Yeah. And I think in all of this, you know, you need to have a plan to be as well. And I always knew with OT exams, if I didn't pass that week, I will resit it the following week because everything was fresh in my mind. I may have just scored quite like badly on 1 or 2 questions. So I was always ready for that. And for my case study exams as well, I always had a plan B. I will sit the next sitting. Even though that may be a different case study, but I ensured that I completed the past, you know, the guarantee that allowed me to resit the course as well. So, you know, I was realistic all the way through, but luckily I didn't need any of that.
Yeah, and I really like something you just said, that you didn't wait too long to sit the exam again. When you fail, you know, when there was a
Well,
time,
I didn't fail, but I was prepared mentally.
that's
know,
right. If you were going to,
I had a plan B.
That's right. You had a plan B, and you wouldn't have waited, you know, months and
No.
months to then
Yeah.
reset. But you're a great example. I think your mindset is just in the game, and there's a lot our students can benefit from. So thank you so much, Joanne, for sharing a little bit about your journey. I know it's inspiring to me and all the students on our session. Thank you so much. Okay, so now we might hand over, we're going to open up the floor to Q&A. So if anyone has any questions, please pop them in the box, the chat box, and we will facilitate those. So anything whatsoever. I think there's a lot to take in, guys. So yeah, absolutely any questions, we're more than happy to answer. And just bear in mind, with everything we've been through today, we will share with you after the call the resources, the links, and we hope that you do reach out to your country representatives if you have any questions, because that's what we're here for. I'm going to take it a bit like it's been a great session and there's a lot to take in. Doesn't mean this hasn't landed well by any stretch. We know that sometimes it's good just to listen to what's been shared and get you really engaged with all of the content we've shared and the different hubs. Again, just to reiterate, we've got the student hub, we've got the careers hub, as well as a lot of different resources out there to help you get job ready. Where can we find the tips and tricks for the exams? So a lot of the resources on our tips and tricks and different resources and going through real life scenarios are all on our study hub. So yeah, that can all be found. Yeah, Tasneem's just sent the link. So you can find all of those. And also we always send out invitations for you guys to come along to the tips and tricks techniques because they're really good. Can we use the Student Support Hub after our FLP expires? The Student Support Hub is open to everyone. Yeah, so it is available for you to have a look. after it's yes, and you are able to access that.
You can find the face-to-face as well as online tuition providers on this link given on the website.
Joanne, without putting you on the spotlight, someone's just got a question about the operational case study in November and how much information they should put in a particular question. Now, I guess it's led by, you know, how many marks is in the question and how to structure it. But is there any comments that you might have around that, or how to approach how much information should go into a particular question?
So sometimes since I did an operational case study exam.
Yeah. Typical, very open-ended.
But yeah, no. So that exam for memory is 4 sections of 45 minutes each. And when I sat it, it seemed to be, I seem to remember being 2 or 3 questions per section, and they give the allocation of time that you should focus on each of those answers. And you should time yourself accordingly. What I found with all my answers in all my case studies, I found a structure that really worked for me. And it was starting off with, "Dear X, thank you for your email." And then I wrote background, the topic that we were going to discuss, and then started to go on my points. So according to the length of time you need to allocate for that, you need to think of those, and then always put a summary or conclusion at the end. As you go through to management and strategic case study, the summary and the conclusions and recommendations becomes just bigger and bigger as you are assumed to go up in the organization and should be advising not only senior management, but eventually the board as well. So use the guidelines in terms of the time allocation, structure each answer, and then answer according to the time. It's very, very time pressured. So yes, a good structure for every answer is the key.
Yes, no, that's really, really useful. Wow, and what a great memory that you can cast your mind back to the structure of the operational case study. Wow. No, really good feedback. I think the structure, the bullet points, the summary, the recommendations, and good point, as you make your way up the organization, obviously the qualification mirrors that in, you know, you need more recommendations in MCS and then SCS as well. Thank you, Joanne, that's great. I'll just give you all a moment. Any last minute questions?
The one thing I would say with all the exams, and particularly the case studies, is that you need to answer what they ask you to answer. And you can't come in with any pre-prepared answers or anything like that. And it's hugely important that you justify your answers through either the pre-seen or the unseen, which is what you're given there and then in the exam. Industry examples and all that kind of stuff is just supportive, but use the unseen and the pre-seen in justifying your answers.
That's a really good tip, because sometimes as humans we want to answer what we know, and we want to just say the answers that we might think that we've got in our head ready to go, but it's not about that. It's reacting to what the question's like and structuring it in that way. That's a really good tip. Yeah, that's a really good tip. You've had very good learning, and yeah, it's great.
So yeah, and for each bullet point as well, each argument that you're trying to put forward, you know, 2 or 3 sentences maximum before you're moving on to the next one. So argue your point, justify it, and then support it with the unseen or pre-seen or industry example, whatever it is. Keep it focused and move through.
Yes, yes. That's a good tip, 2 to 3 sentences per point. So I've got a question about an exam and someone wanting to book an exam. So they can't see the appointment for the PView testing centre. What I would advise is just to reach out to your country rep with regards to any sort of exam. I know, you know, sometimes the website can play up, but please give us a call and we can help you through that. Thanks for your feedback, Daniel. That's not the experience we want for our students. Like recently we have gone through so many changes with our website with different contact details. We've got now a line that takes care of a lot of our inquiries that is centrally located, but we find the best service can sometimes be given from the country specific. So really sorry you have that experience. It's not what we want. I always encourage you to reach out to that specific country. And if you've called the office directly and that's happened, we do pride ourselves on the service. So super apologise for that. It's not what we want. Yeah, and so leave it and to yours as well. Again, you know, ARCPA and CIMA have gone through a lot of change. We understand it can sometimes not be, you might not get a reply in the time frame you want. Apologies for that. It's not the experience we want, but please reach out to your country specific reps and more than happy to help and rectify that. Got another question. Is every subject like E1, P1 and F1, are they going to be tested in the OCS question? Look, the way the OCS is structured, it will draw on the foundations of E1, P1, F1. So that's why on FLP, it's really structured in a way to give you that knowledge. You definitely need to look at that content. It's only going to help you for the operational case study. My answer is yes. Some people say no, just focus on the operational case study, you know, pre-C material and all the information for that. But I would say E1, P1, F1, look through that content. It's just going to help you, especially if you didn't sit the exam and your first exam is the operational case study. Subjects underneath link and will always give you that extra push to do well in the case study.
I will concur with that as well. I think the operational case study is more technical than the others. And there are quite specific questions around certain aspects of the syllabus of either E1, F1 or P1.
Yeah. Actually had a really good turnout. So I want to thank everyone for joining. I'll give it another minute to see if there's any final questions. But again, we're going to send everything that we've discussed out to you. I really want to thank our students, Joanne and Hasitha, for sharing their experience. So invaluable. We can talk, but when it comes from a student who's going through it and who has completed the qualification, just it weighs so much heavier on our students. So we hope this information session has been really helpful, and we look forward to supporting you. So please, we mean it when we say it, reach out to us. We are here to help, and we hope to hear from you soon. Any further remarks, Tasneem or Lily, Samara?
All good. So we'll be sharing the SPOC contact details to all the participants soon, along with the recording. So just watch out for that. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, everyone. And we will be in contact with you and share everything we've shared. Thank you so very much. I might end the call. Thank you, everyone. Have a good evening and have a good afternoon. Thanks, guys.